This video is brought to you thanks to the generosity of our patrons. If you'd like to support HeliSimmer.com and all that we do, please visit patreon.com/HeliSimmer. Hello everyone, I am Sergio, editor and founder of HeliSimmer.com. It is Sunday, which means it's time for another weekly flyby. Before we start, I would like to remind you to subscribe to our channel and like this video. That will help us out with YouTube algorithms and show our content to other simmers, as well as spreading the word about helicopters. Let's get started with some good news for quite a few of you. In case you miss it, HeliSimmer.com is turning 6 and we have an amazing giveaway for our readers and community members. If you did miss it, perhaps you should follow us on Twitter, for example. For those that participated, thank you very much. We had over 300 entries for the 23 prizes, and I wish everyone could win a prize, but unfortunately that was not possible. You can find the official winners list on our website, and we already sent everyone an email. If you are in this list and you didn't get an email, please check your spam folder. Congratulations to all the winners, and again, thank you very much for everyone that participated. There is also something interesting. We have asked our participants to indicate which sim they were using as their main sim, and although we have no surprises, the results are quite interesting and you can see them here on the video with xplane taking the lead. Back in January 22, HeliSimmer.com and the Flight Simulation Association held a free webinar aimed at those that are new to helicopter flight simulation, but not only, of course. In the 45-minute session, I have covered hardware, software, tips and tricks, your first takeoff and landing, and a lot more, and it was followed by a 1-hour Q&A session where we covered a lot of amazing questions from the audience. We have done this to celebrate the fact that FSA now holds our quick guide to flying helicopters, which in a way is a short version of our section about how to fly helicopters at HeliSimmer.com. The webinar is now available as video on demand on our YouTube channel. You can find the link in the video description. Microsoft Flight Simulator does not have native support for helicopters yet. That is coming at the end of 2022, but you probably know that if you have paying attention, of course. You probably also know that not having native support for helicopters didn't stop the community, which didn't care a bit and started making them for the sim anyway. You know, business as usual. Microsoft Flight Simulator is without a shred of a doubt a great looking simulator with amazing scenery, and it is just begging for this aircraft that can fly slow, low, and land anywhere, you know, like helicopters. So we have been having a nice flow of free and payware helicopters for a few months now, and we just heard of yet another project. Fastcow Productions has unveiled they are working on a payware Airbus H160 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The company's goal is to provide a realistic model, but with the ability to scale it down and make it easier for those that may need it, as Fastcow Productions say they want everyone to enjoy this aircraft as we have enjoyed building it. This is a great approach, although I suspect the company won't have to tone it down that much since the H160 is quite an automated machine already with lots of pilot aids. Payware does not mean expensive though, and the team wants to keep the price as low as they possibly can. After all, even with a small team of 2, there are expenses to be paid and food to be eaten. The project is still in very early stages of development. When asked about the flight dynamics, for example, and the possibility of using AirlandFS, the team says they are still considering their options. Right now, they are focused on other areas, and yes, there's still a lot of work ahead. The 3D model already looks very nice, and Fastcow Productions is currently working on the interior. Meanwhile, the team could certainly use your help if you have access to the H160 or knowledge on the platform. You can contact me directly and I will do the bridge with the team. Just reach out to me through the email address sergio@HeliSimmer.com. Speaking of Microsoft Flight Simulator and helicopters, during the latest dev Q&A, Microsoft and Azobo have shown the progress of the sim in several areas, with one being very interesting for helicopters, the new propeller technology. Not only that, but we also have a more approximate date for the release of these machines in the sim. Microsoft and Azobo have shown a roadmap that covers the entire year of 2022, and they have a few surprises in the mix, but what's more important, there's a new approximate date for the release of helicopters, and Azobo, through its CEO Sebastian Locke, also talked about the new propeller system that has been developed, which improves fixed-wing aircraft but also serves as a base for helicopters, which are coming on the fall of 2022. One of the things I was concerned about, as Sebastian mentioned this new technology in the past, was the fact that rotors are not propellers. Nonetheless, the fact that they had mentioned some of the difference between rotors and propellers somewhat made me less worried. Namely, the fact that the propeller blades are much prone down to external factors, for example, notice that blade bending is mentioned. In the stream, Azobo shows a small clip with the current eVTOL and the wind flow around it, the vortices, and you can even see how ground effect acts upon a body in the sim. Of course, an eVTOL is not a helicopter, but the important thing here is what is behind it, which is the wind flow and how the air moves around the aircraft. And that is looking pretty impressive. I am getting very excited about seeing these videos and the progress being done. You can watch the full video on demand for this Microsoft Flight Simulator the Q&A on Twitch and YouTube. Just follow the link in the video description. After the release of their Bell 206, Cowan Simulation went back to the 500E as promised, and what an update this was. Joshua Cowan threw a lot of improvements and new features. The list is huge and I recommend you read all the details in the official changelog. Sounds and animations were revamped. F-mod sounds were hugely improved and the rotor system is now fully modeled and animated. The stationary swash plate and mixing unit which were missing before are now in the model. The shapes of skids were fixed and the throttle idle release and governor were recoded, and now they work more like in the real machine. Something really nice that Joshua also added was the ability to calibrate the throttle for different hardware devices. Some of these have idle stops that work like the real deal. The problem is that the signal coming from these controls may and will be different, which will make it so that things won't work that well. Using the new throttle calibration tool included in the 500E, you can now adjust it to your own hardware, which is really nice. Sling load capability was now added and we have new options such as pre-kit, Cineflex camera, bench and worker, spotlight and ground power cards. Some cosmetic features were included as well, such as wire cutters, the ability to remove doors individually, some instrument class tweaks, and some instruments were also corrected. And that is not all. You really need to check the changelog. You can find the link in the video description. FGUK has updated their AS350 for FlightGear. This upgrade brings the AS350 to version 3, and the changelog, which you can find in our website, is filled with very cool improvements and features. This version only works on FlightGear version 2017 or higher, so please do keep that in mind. Check out the link in the video description to find where to download it. And we ended the week with some more Microsoft Flight Simulator news, as High Performance Group has released a preview of their H145 for the sim, which now brings the military version. Build 200 comes in two flavors, full installation or partial installation. For the partial installation, you have to be careful because you need to have builds 189 or 199 installed. High Performance Group also made a paint kit for the H145M available, so you can grab it already and start working on your shiny new liveries for this version right away. To get this version, you need to access a link, enter the email you used when you first purchased the helicopter. You can find that link in the news on our website, which is, of course, in the video description. The changelog for the H145M is quite big, and you should also take a look at it. If you don't have the H145 for Microsoft Flight Simulator yet, you can also find the link on our website. And that was all for the week that passed. Before I go, I would like to remind you of a way you can support HeliSimmer.com. At HeliSimmer.com/HeliSimmer, you can pledge monthly or yearly donations, which we will reinvest into the project. As an alternative, you can also join us as a member here on YouTube. Click the join button under this video and find out more about it. All the help we can get is much appreciated, so thank you very much for considering donating. A big shout out to all the people that already support us or have supported us in the past. Thank you very much to you all. It has been a tremendous help. I will be seeing you all in another video. Until then, take care and fly safe.